Right now at noon, a semi crashes carrying thousands of strawberries, creating a major jam on an Oklahoma highway.
And we're tracking thunderstorm chances as we head into the overnight hours, some of which could be strong, potentially severe. The latest coming up.
Plus, local students take aim and hit a national title. How their archery skills brought home a big win.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Noe. Strong to severe storms could be making their way once again to the 4 states. Let's go straight to Chris Warner for more on what to expect.
Yeah, we had those clouds increasing this morning, and you can see as from earlier this morning, downtown Pittsburgh, we went from clear skies to mostly cloudy skies pretty quickly. Same as we were rolling into Joplin, we had some sunshine earlier this morning, and it was quickly obscured by those increasing clouds across the area. Quick look at the numbers from yesterday. 60s where we started, 77 where we made it. So again, staying above average, but not quite to record levels. And even though we got quite a bit of rain earlier in the month, we can see we're 2.5 inches over for the month of April. We are still down now for the year by almost 0.2 of an inch, but unfortunately more rain's coming, and while we need this rain, that is great. We're looking at more flooding concerns over the next few days. Temperature trend again, average high of about 72, so a bit below that Saturday with clouds, showers, and storms. Warmer Sunday, of course today, even warmer. Then we'll start to even back out near average over the next couple of days. And for the rest of this evening, again, a mix of mostly cloudy to just straight up cloudy skies. Temperatures gradually falling through the low 70s by 11 o'clock. South winds overnight will start to calm down that much, as they'll be still gusting out of the south up to 30, and by the time we reach about 2 a.m., that's when our severe threat begins to pick up. We'll have a full look at your forecast. We'll break down the severe risks as they stand right now and the timing of these storms here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, Oklahoma Highway Patrol was alerted to a rollover crash early yesterday morning. Around 9:45 a.m., reports of a semi carrying 40,000 pounds of strawberries crashed near the McDonald's above I-44. All lanes of traffic were closed as the semi ran into the median, pushing it into the eastbound lanes. Traffic was diverted from Veneta, Oklahoma to Big Cabin. The driver was not injured, and Oklahoma State Patrol reports say the driver fell asleep and crashed into the center barrier. All lanes of traffic were reopened by 12:45 p.m. Well, a Missouri man who works as a photographer is putting one of his tools to use to help out his community. Darren Doyle reports how he's using his high-tech drone to help find four-legged friends gone missing.
I was excited to go help because got a soft spot for pets as well and want to help the owners get their pet back.
Austin Rhodes, owner of Elevated Photography Service, began assisting Georgia Drager of the Cameron Animal Shelter after a late-night call about a recently adopted dog breaking free.
Panic kind of set in for everybody, his new family, myself, and then I had remembered that Austin had offered his drone services, so I reached out, and 10 o'clock at night, Austin came out.
Rhodes' drone has a special camera that allows him to see heat patterns. This is helpful for Drager and others when animals go missing in the woods or crowded areas.
Georgia gave me a call one day and had a pet missing outside of Cameron here and needs some help, and thought the thermal drone would be really good at helping locate that dog. So
Rhodes packed up that night from Winston, headed to the Cameron area, and helped bring Baker home. Since then, he's also assisted Drager on many other rescues.
His integrity and just, his willingness to come out and help however he can is incredible. He's very generous and towards us, and just being able to stop everything he's doing and show up when he works a full-time job on top of everything else.
I've enjoyed it all. I help with that. There's been a few calls just like down the city. Some of those are a little more difficult, but in the rural areas, it's definitely a lot easier.
Helping one another keep the pets of Cameron safe and brought home.
Well, Pitt State students are helping kids get away from screen time and engaging with others to build valuable life skills. As part of their final exam, Pitt State honor students planned a day of activities focused on enhancing problem solving, teamwork, and imaginative thinking.
There's a space for more kids-based programs because I think we lost a lot of those when the pandemic happened. and they're slowly coming back, but it's so important to get kids connected with their community and each other and getting them building those connections, especially around this age.
Associate Professor Philip Frank says the students have gone above the requirements for the course to make Saturday's activities what they were. And student athletes from Carl Junction brought home some new hardware and a new title. Archers from Carl Junction traveled to Utah to compete in the Western National Championship. Students earned the top spot in 3D archery and second place in bullseye, giving them the national title.
This was their goal since, I think, September. The seniors got together and they said we want to go to Utah. It was better for us to go out there. If we went to the other nationals, they would come back on a Sunday, take finals that week, and graduate that Friday. So this was the best decision for our team to go to this national tournament. And we hoped to win 3D, and we did. We hoped to win center shot bullseye in 3D, and we did in bullseye.
Supporters gathered at the Carl Junction High School to welcome them home and congratulate the students on their success. Well, a Reptile Expo held in Neosho gives animal enthusiasts an opportunity to buy, sell, and examine exotic pets. KOAM's Mitch Adams visited the expo and met some of the animals firsthand.
The saying goes, lions, tigers, and bears, oh my. Substitute lions, tigers, and bears for bearded dragons, snakes, and spiders. Front and center for people to interact with, but only if you're brave enough.
Here you can get up and close with the breeders that have produced the animals. They take care of the animals. They can educate you, help you, and everything in a very well-rounded atmosphere.
The animals are not what you see at your average pet store. And breeders say educating people about these animals and finding them responsible homes is a top priority.
Basically for us, we're like having a zoo and a pet store all in one. You can get your pet, you can get the enclosure, you can get all your bedding and get everything you need for it to thrive whenever you get home with your new pet.
Different booths show different species.
One of those species being the tiger reticulated python, one of the longest snakes in the world that can grow over 20 feet long in the wild.
The expo is a first for the area, but a success for breeders and critters alike.
It's awesome. It's a good feeling for me seeing all the smiling faces and everybody being happy to see something new in the 4 states. I really enjoy being able to bring something like this to folks that might not have the ability to travel 2 or 3 or 4 hours to go to the closest Reptile Expo.
In Newton County, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
The expo continued through Sunday at the Newton County Fairgrounds. And coming up, a look back on President Trump's first 100 days in office. And later, we're making very ugly pie in the Mr. Food test kitchen. This morning, President Trump's supporters are told the press that undocumented immigrants living illegally in the United States, quote, cannot hide. The administration claims it has done more to secure the border in the president's first 99 days in office than any other president in history. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
DEA agents raided a nightclub in Colorado Springs Sunday, saying they arrested more than 100 undocumented migrants and seized drugs and weapons.
While you're all sleeping at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, there are men and women out there enforcing the law and making this country safe again.
The arrests come as the Trump administration touts its efforts to secure the border during the president's first 100 days in office.
We are in the beginning stages of carrying out the largest deportation campaign in American history.
But the White House is facing questions about due process for individuals and families, especially in light of the deportations last week of 3 U.S.-born children and their migrant mothers to Honduras.
They weren't deported. We don't import U.S. citizens. The parents made that decision, not the United States government.
The White House's border czar says there's been around 139,000 deportations since President Trump took office. The administration has put these posters on the White House North Lawn of people it's identified as unauthorized immigrants convicted of crimes. With the Trump administration's immigration crackdown, advocacy groups say they've been flooded with calls.
Not only is there that fear, though, but there's a lot of uncertainty about what to do. It's almost like people are paralyzed.
While President Trump's overall approval rating has fallen during his first 100 days, a majority of those surveyed, 56%, say they approve of his program deporting immigrants in the country illegally. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
And still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
It's National Blueberry Pie Day. So I suggest you grab a fork and join me as we celebrate in a tasty way.
And as mentioned, we are tracking thunderstorms, some of which could be strong to severe not just tonight but into Tuesday, the latest when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. So again, clouds increasing pretty quickly, and I was kind of wild through the morning show. We kept talking about, it's going to be mostly cloudy here soon, but we had all that sunshine, but clouds worked in very quickly, as we can see from our downtown Pittsburgh camera at 4th and Broadway from earlier in the day. Also, you see it shaking as the winds continue to increase across the region. Let's take a look at what we're looking at with our severe threat as we go through tonight. Now, again, you may see this on social media from weather enthusiasts that will post the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, which is what this is. It's day one. But if you're not looking at all the details, it makes it appear as though this is something we're expecting in the next 2 or 3 hours. That's not the case. Day one from the Storm Prediction Center, as we've mentioned in the past, does lead in to parts of the next day. This is for overnight tonight after around about 2 o'clock this morning as thunderstorms will begin to ramp up in our area. So we have a low to elevated tornado risk. We also have a low to elevated hail risk with these hatch marks. So this zone here could see very large hail, 2 inches in diameter or greater. And then we have a low to elevated wind risk out there as well for overnight tonight with winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour with these thunderstorms. Through the rest of this afternoon, we're expecting to remain dry. All right, we're going to be mostly cloudy to straight up cloudy. It will be warm. It will be breezy with those south winds gusting upwards of 35, but it's otherwise dry. An isolated shower or storm might try and sneak into southeast Kansas between about 10 and 11, but it doesn't last long. It's not looking to do much. It's this batch here about 2 a.m. rolling into parts of Washington and Newada counties in northeastern Oklahoma, strong to severe thunderstorms. This complex expands and potentially intensifies, bringing more severe weather with it by 3 a.m. Then we could even get a little line trying to get into our northwestern counties around that same time. So between 3 and 5, that line in our northwestern counties, that complex rolls up from earlier down by Miami at 3, starts to roll up towards Stockton by 5. And then we'll see a new line of storms ahead of a cold front that's going to be pushing into the area tomorrow. These could be strong to severe as well. Now for Tuesday, as we head later into the morning, afternoon, and evening, we'll have thunderstorm chances through the day, but our severe risk, the greater severe risk, will shift along and south of the I-44 corridor with a risk for strong to low-grade severe storms north of that point. So through the day, additional scattered showers and thunderstorms across the entire region, but again, the greater severe risk is going to be down south. But again, a strong or low-grade severe storm is not out of the question throughout the entire region as we head through Tuesday night, and into Wednesday morning. Now, by Wednesday morning, again, another strong low-grade severe storm possible. That'll begin to kind of calm down for a bit for us, but by the time we head into Wednesday afternoon, we'll see additional showers and thunderstorms. Now, we're not at this point anticipating severe weather with this activity, but very heavy rainfall that could lead to additional flooding is a concern over the next few days. Our severe weather risks for Tuesday after the morning storm. So as we go late morning into the afternoon and evening, at this time we have a low tornado risk just kind of barely scraping our far southern counties. Same with the low hail risk along and south of I-44. The greater concern is going to be with those damaging wind gusts, 60, 70 miles an hour. Again, with the elevated risk just almost right along and south of I-44 and a lower risk north of that. So that's why we're saying stronger storms north of I-44 are not out of the question. And so there's our low to elevated risk for us today. Our low to elevated risk as well, again, for tonight. Our low to elevated risk tomorrow by late morning into the afternoon and evening. And again, a strong storm or two possible very early Wednesday morning. As for the rest of the day, again, highs right about near 80. South winds gusting to 35. Non-thunderstorm winds tonight gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour. Down to about 60 tonight, low 60s Tuesday, low 70s for our highs. Through about Friday, we get to low to mid 70s. Few lingering storms Thursday morning, then we get an opportunity to dry out and clear out into the weekend with our temperatures warming up nicely into the upper 70s and low 80s. But of course, we'll be keeping a close eye on those storms overnight tonight. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. And stick around. We're making berry ugly pie in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Well, this is an impossible pie, which means that all the ingredients get mixed together and it magically bakes up with a crust. Now, if you love blueberries, you're going to love today's Mr. Food recipe. Howard's making berry ugly pie in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Did you know that today is National Blueberry Pie Day? And to celebrate it, we're making a blueberry pie that's very unique, quite tasty, and super easy. The only thing is, some people gave it a quirky nickname, and I'm curious to see if you agree with them. We start off by combining some blueberries, a bit of biscuit baking mix, granulated sugar, a couple of eggs, softened butter, a can of evaporated milk, and a splash of vanilla in a blender. We blend this until it's smooth, which takes just seconds. Now we pour this into a bowl and add even more whole fresh blueberries. See, I told you this wasn't going to be your typical blueberry pie. Okay, this goes into a pie plate and gets baked for about an hour. Once it cools, we can top it with some whipped cream and a few extra berries, and it's time to dig in. And about that quirky nickname, although it's one of the most flavorful blueberry pies you'll ever eat, it has a funny color. So when people called it ugly, we weren't insulted, but rather we thought it was funny. So we named it Berry Ugly Pie. And like always, you can find it on our website. What do you think?
That's ugly.
Try it. Fine. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a very unusual way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. See, I told you it was good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, again, strong, potentially severe thunderstorms after 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll be here tracking that. All hazards possible, so we want to keep a close eye on it. Be into the low 70s for the next few days. Scattered storms, non-severe storms at this point, continue through Wednesday into Thursday morning, and will clear out for the weekend and warm back up. Temperatures into the upper 70s and low 80s.
All right, a lot to keep an eye on this week.
You bet.
What do you have for us later on?
Well, lots coming up at 5. For starters, smoking rates are drastically declining thanks to young adults. We're going to take a look at a promising projection for the next 10 years. Plus, earlier this month, we told you about a petition to recall Joplin Councilman Ryan Jackson following comments made about transgenders. We're going to have an update on that petition. And some registered voters in Oklahoma will receive a notice about their personal information. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. Have a great rest of your day.